is yet another day, and welcome to the Gabriel TV as we discuss matters politics as far as 2022 general election is concerned. Political contenders who are the two hosts are crisscrossing the country on a campaign trail. Various nominations are ongoing in various counties. UDA, ODM, and various parties are also conducting their nominations. So today I'm privileged to be joined by two youths, one for Kenya Kwanza and one for Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. I want to introduce my guests from my left.
I'm Daniel Mugo. I'm a third year media student at Maseno University, and I'm in the Azimio faction.
Thank you very much, Daniel Mugo. And on my right,
I am Watich Kipoeshi Jimmy from Maseno University, third year, taking education with IT, and I'm Kenya Kwanza diehard.
thank you very much, Jimmy Kipkoech. And our question today is, which way Kenya, and what is the position of youths in our Kenyan politics? So let me start with the Azimio la Umoja youth. Why Azimio la Umoja and not Kenya Kwanza?
Well, this comes down to the two men, Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto. Their distinction, it's like day and night. Raila Odinga is a reformer. You look at his political career, he's always been a fighter, a voice for the voiceless. You look at when he started in the late 80s, there was a plight for multipartyism coming right through to the 90s. He was fighting the Moi regime. Well, at one point he was part of it as the SG of Kanu. And even when he said Kibaki Tosha, he shelved.
Let us not talk about Raila Odinga. Let's talk about the Azimio la Umoja faction. Why Azimio la Umoja?
I'm going there.
Yeah.
Because
Let's not talk
for you
about
to
Raila.
support Azimio,
Yes.
Raila Amolo Odinga is the presidential flag bearer. You have to understand Raila Amolo Odinga, who he is, what he stands for, so that now you can come to the bigger coalition, which is Azimio. So yeah, fighting for multipartyism, he's been arrested, he's been tortured at a great personal cost. He wasn't even able to attend his mother's burial. So when you look at this guy, all these years leading to 2022, he's a guy who understands the Kenyan landscape. He knows what it feels to be the oppressed. And even when you look at his policies, the Social Security Fund, the 6,000 stipend, the pledges to resuscitate Mumia's sugar company in Western, which has been dwindling. He's always been attending these games, the derbies in Nairobi and everything. So he's a guy who loves sports, and that means that he's going to help the sports ministry. And also his stance in corruption. You've never heard Raila Amolo Odinga mentioned in any corruption-related cases. The same can't be said for William Ruto. I mean, the guy is the textbook of illegal dealings and
Thank you very much. That's your position. That's your position. And let me introduce my friend here from the right. Why Kenya Kwanza, not Azimio la Umoja?
Why Kenya Kwanza, not Azimio?
Yes.
The reason why I'm supporting Kenya Kwanza, of course, since ever we know the background of Dr. William Samoei Ruto. The guy came from a very humble beginning.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, he joined Siasa. And then he joined in favor of Daniel Toroitich Moi. So, like, he was a student Christian Union leader. And then he took that opportunity to meet with President Moi. To do what? At least to support him to win election. That it was on that day. And of course,
you have the youth for Kanu, why K92?
To support tyranny.
No, not tyranny. Not tyranny. Not tyranny.
Relax.
Not tyranny. In fact, have you ever seen tyranny in Kenya?
Let us not talk
We
about
don't know.
Daniel Moi was a tyrant.
He was not a tyrant. He was a leader. Same case.
A dictator.
So
they tried to sugarcoat his legacy during his burial.
In Kenya, we don't talk
Daniel
about
Toroitich, and I share his surname. Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi was a dictator.
Then
he wasn't a follower of the rule of law. He did not respect the constitution.
No, let's talk of Ruto. Let's talk of William Ruto.
We are not talking about Daniel Moi. Daniel Moi is past tense as for now.
So like,
let's talk about William Ruto.
Yes.
Personally.
Like he was trying to tell us about Raila Amolo Odinga.
Yes.
The fight that he has made since ever, the liberation.
What has William Ruto ever fought?
Multipartyism. I don't reject. You know, you cannot compare Raila with William Ruto.
Yes,
Let me tell you. But for the fact will remain that Raila is a fighter. He fight for
is an
liberation.
oppressor.
He fight for multipartyism. But he tried to coup Moi. 1978. Not even 1978.
He
1992.
was acquitted.
No.
You are
The
conveniently leaving that part out.
The reason why Raila Amolo Odinga was arrested, it was because he was like he had some coup idea. He wanted to take over Moi.
I think my friend here is
So I was
deficient.
No. I'm still talking
Let
of
us all
William
keep
Ruto.
quiet.
I'm still talking of William Ruto.
I haven't finished. Why Kenya Kwanza? I asked
I'm
you a
coming
question
there.
about why Kenya Kwanza.
I'm coming there
Not
to Kenya
why
Kwanza.
William Ruto.
I'm coming to there, Kenya Kwanza.
Yes.
So Ruto, all along, he started by becoming member of Parliament, Eldoret North. And by that time, even Moi himself was against William Samoei Ruto. Moi had a MP aspirant who was like he was supporting him, but he was against William Samoei Ruto. But through that fight, William Samoei Ruto emerged the best. Even if you pay a visit now and then try to locate that Eldoret North and part of Wasingishu, a lot of things has been done. He is a man of development. At least his background of education, at least you can tell.
So that's why you support him?
No, I'm coming to where? I'm coming to that point. The reason why I'm supporting to William Samoei Ruto, election 2007, he stood firm with Raila Amolo Odinga. Even when Raila Odinga was taking case to the High Court Supreme, then William Ruto stood by Raila's side. In fact, even the reading of cases in the Supreme Court, William Samoei Ruto was there to support Raila Amolo Odinga. But all of a sudden, what did Raila do? He betrayed William Samoei Ruto.
Yeah.
William Samoei Ruto was to become the Prime Minister of this country, 2007. Raila to become what? The President. In fact, as his challenge, we gave Raila full support. Then came 2013. Ruto supported who? Uhuru Kenyatta. Not because he liked Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta first had called Kalonzo Musyoka, Mudavadi, like they had already, like Mama Ngina in fact was encouraging Uhuru Kenyatta to pick either Kalonzo or Mudavadi, but both of them rejected. But William Ruto was called as the last option, but he stood by him. He fought it, and Raila won. Uhuru, 2017. So the reason why I'm supporting William Ruto, he came from nowhere, joining politics, occupying high position offices in this country. As far as politics is concerned, he has agenda.
Let me respond.
Thank you. He has an agenda. I think you've answered my question on that.
We cannot support someone simply because he comes from a simple background.
No, I'm not saying I'm supporting him because he's coming from a simple. He's a struggler.
What if
that man is smart?
Daniel, what if he says we cannot support someone because he fought for independence? We never sent him to fight for independence.
No,
what if he says so? What if he says
Raila Odinga,
who sent Raila to fight for independence?
Let me show you.
So that we
There's
now
something called patriotism. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay? There are people who genuinely love their country. There are people who genuinely will fight and die for their country. You don't have to be asked to do something for your country in order to get credit. Some people just.
I think we should leave it at that.
And let me respond. Okay. He's mentioned the simple background that William Ruto came from.
You've already responded on that.
No. Let me just.
You cannot dwell on the same issue for a very long time.
As we are winding up,
we need to
let me just
move on. We need to move on.
Let me just finish. Muammar Gaddafi, the Libyan dictator.
Okay.
He was also from humble beginnings.
Yes.
Joseph Stalin, the Soviet Union dictator, was from humble beginnings. Adolf Hitler,
of course,
was from humble beginnings. So, being from humble beginning doesn't exactly mean that you will resonate with the people. Because Ruto is not a hustler, if you're being honest. He has a chicken farm in Sugoi, guarded by GSU office.
And then by the way,
he makes 1 million
Kenyan shillings on a daily. What is the real meaning of hustler?
Yeah.
What is it?
The English dictionary.
No, I don't want to use English dictionary. According to your understanding, according to political analysis.
My understanding.
What is the meaning of hustler?
I'm an intellect. So when you ask me the definition of a word, I refer it how it is.
No, like I want you to bring
let's not bring that issue in the dictionary.
I
know what it means in the dictionary. Please don't say that.
earning his living. Okay, he's the, how will I put it?
Young people
Food,
who are
okay, like
struggling,
hand to mouth. A
struggling
hustler
at
is a
least to
hand
meet
to
an
mouth
end.
guy. You know,
To meet an
he
end.
earns money in the evening, he uses that money to feed his family.
Yeah.
So basically, he's not making much. He's below the, he's in the poverty income level. So this is a guy who's doing the food to mouth because he cannot invest. He doesn't have much. So basically, it's someone who's struggling. So wanna live.
Okay, that's what I was meaning. Ruto came out from that process, like from nowhere, struggling at least to educate. In fact, even the parents were nowhere in national politics of this country. And then you find it like he just came, joined politics, and then he become an activist, like popular.
And
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
But
You
I'll also
respect
tell you
that.
something.
Let
You
us
see,
move on. Let us move on, please.
as
Let
I
us move
finish.
on.
Just,
Give him a
just the
chance.
last point as I finish. So you're saying that William Ruto will understand. Okay, he understands the problems the Kenyan people are facing better because he was not born in privilege. That's your point.
Yeah.
I'll also tell you someone who was born into privilege and he did great things.
But you cannot
The 35th
compare. You cannot compare character.
Let me just say.
Like you're different from.
No. Let me just say it.
Okay.
Mr.
The 35th president of the United States, JFK. You know him? The guy, he was born from privilege. And look at the things he did. He averted the Cuban Missile Crisis. At that time, Cuba, the dictator, Fidel Castro, from America and do all these crazy things. But JF Kennedy, even today, he's revered. Look at how he used to make his speeches. He was this charismatic guy who did great things for America. And till today, they still revere him. Despite coming from a privileged family, he was able to resonate with people on the ground. So, being from a privileged family and it's not a disqualification to be a leader in Kenya. Raila Odinga can do great things.
I'm not against that.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, and we must move on.
As we cross the interview.
We must move on, and the interview has become hot. It's burning. The studio is burning. All right, and in the some few weeks, we have had some youths being used by politicians to cause mayhem. What's your take on that? Why are politicians using youths to cause mayhem?
For me, I condemn the behavior. It's not good for a politician to use a youth to get paid like 100 shillings, no? For you to throw a stone to hit somebody's car, to hit Raila Amolo Odinga helicopter. Like me, I condemn that.
Thank you. Mr. Daniel Mobe, why are youths being used by politicians to cause mayhem in Kenya?
Okay, this all comes down to the founding principles of our nation. When Jomo Kenyatta was sworn in as president, he made a pledge to help Kenya get rid of ignorance, poverty, and disease. This is the ignorance part. When you look at Kenya right now, in as much as our literacy levels have risen, we still have a great number of people who they don't have that intellectual capacity. They're in the poverty level, so they can't actually, like, their parents can't afford to take them to school. So you meet a young guy who's been doing the manual labor and everything. So when a politician comes and offers him, let's say, 500 Kenya shillings on a daily, the guy will obviously take it, and maybe it's just told to attend some rally, go distract. The guy will obviously do it because this is money in his pocket. At the end of the day, he has a family to feed. So I think all this comes down to unemployment because the youth. How many people can you just count if you go to the market center?
There are many. But
Young people,
Alright,
they just
it's an
the
idle.
issue
employment.
is, what is
It's
your
an
take?
employment.
My take is this: Raila Amolo Odinga's chopper.
Yeah.
Because when
And also, I want you to include
I
William
will say the
Ruto.
Kondele story.
Kondele.
I know where you're going.
Yeah.
So
Not
Raila
even
Odinga.
Kondele, even Jacaranda.
Both
I
situations
get
are
it.
unfortunate.
Odinga is
we
attending
should not
Mzee
dwell on
Kibor's funeral.
And in fact,
In
he came even
Wasingishu.
late.
Yes.
Yes.
What happens? His chopper is that was an attempt.
But
on his
investigation
life.
is still ongoing.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still
And in
ongoing.
fact,
I
even
know.
William Ruto
That was an attempt.
apologized.
Yes, you have already condemned that
And
issue.
let me ask you
Full
something.
stop. Let us
Raila
not-
Odinga has been to almost every part of this country while campaigning.
Okay.
He has never suffered such a personal attack. He goes to Rift Valley and Kabang. He almost dies.
Not almost.
He almost dies.
Not almost.
He almost
No.
that. And I want you to listen to President Kenyatta's address.
Okay.
I think he was out of pipeline somewhere, and he said,
Your mom.
"Do you know what will happen? Well, what would have happened
Si alisema kungewaka
Raila
moto.
Amolo
Kungewaka
Odinga,
moto.
if those stones would have just crazed him, Kenya will burn." And
Because
also in
Raila is a man
condemnance, William Ruto suffered an atrocity, and I want to condemn it in the highest manner possible. It's time as youth, we have to rise to the occasion. You know, the issue of throwing stones, this was done in the 60s and everything. We need to rise to the occasion. In as much as we disagree politically, let us know that we are Kenyans and they'll be Kenyan even after election. And these politicians, they live in houses, they live in
Palatial.
walls
Mansion.
guarded by men with guns.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you get injured, William Ruto does not know.
The, even
Raila
does not
Odinga
care.
does not even care.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think this all comes down to personal responsibility.
All right, thank you. And yesterday, the NCIC banned the word Sipangwingwi and some words. So is Sipangwingwi
Madoa.
illegal?
For my take,
Yeah.
Sipangwini, I think these are Swahili.
Mhm.
Because if you come and you try to tell me I want you to do this, and then after you're done with this, come do this and this. Some of the things that will at least try to instruct me, I'll not go by that instruction you're giving me. Like some of the things I'll have to do it on my own way.
Yeah.
So nikikwambia uwezi nipanga, in fact that name, that uwezi nipanga, iko kwa kamusi. It's a Swahili name. So Sipangwingwi, I think they should not even condemn that word.
So it is illegal to condemn that word.
It is illegal.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have to agree with my brother Kwech.
Yeah.
Honestly, seeing that statement from NCIC yesterday, it's pathetic. I mean, Sipangwingwi, first of all, it was a song, and the meaning is, in as much as maybe you're the government, you control these state resources,
Yeah.
you cannot direct me what to do. So I don't think it's a divisive word. Honestly, I think the NCIC is just looking for political clout or attention. So yeah, Sipangwingwi, but the Madoadoa thing, that's a real one, especially in Rift Valley.
And
When
of
you
course,
start mentioning such a word,
yes.
it
Even Raila
elicits
did it. Even
emotion from the 2007, 2008 post-election violence.
Even the same word Raila used it.
Yeah.
Also, Meru Senator
Linturi.
Linturi
Yeah,
used it.
I accept. Because that's
In
the
both
incident that
camps,
happened in
the
Eldoret.
word was used in both camps. So let us now talk about the bottom-up economic model or the trickle-down economic model. Which way should we go, the bottom-up or the the trickle-down? We should trickle down or we
First
should
of
go
all,
bottom-up.
the trickle-down economics.
Just explain it in around 30 seconds.
Yeah,
We should
let
not.
me just say,
Yeah.
trickle-down economics cannot work in a mid-level economy, which Kenya is currently. We've risen. I think we are no longer a third world country. We're rising to a middle-income country. So, trickle-down economics, it's not applicable in Kenya as of now because we have high rates of unemployment. We have so many people below the poverty line, and trickle-down means that the top dogs at the top of the food chain. They get the resources and everything, then they distribute them, spiraling downwards. Now, this means that all this cash, all these resources will have to go under bureaucratic processes, which are usually very slow. So, for the common mwananchi to, even feel that this economy is somehow benefiting them, it's gonna take time. Bottom up, it's a very good thing, but it's a buzzline. Some months ago, Alice Wahome who's a top lieutenant in UDA.
Yes.
She was in an interview in at Citizen TV with Sam Gituku, I think Daybreak or something, and she was asked to explain the bottom-up approach. Believe it or not,
She was not able.
she was stammering. And this is a top lieutenant in UD. I mean, she is, I think, William Ruto's soldier on the front lines. And for a top lieutenant to be unable to explain what this bottom-up economic approach is, it just reflects what UDA is. It's a mongrel, a
Thank you.
cabal, a
Let,
cartel.
let me involve Jimmy. Bottom up or trickle down? Which way, Kenya?
I think for Kenya,
Mm.
we should approach the bottom-up economic model approach. Where am I saying?
Mm.
If you see the trickle-down economic model, it only favors those people on the top seats because they first have the resources. After they have the resources, they love to decide which way to go. But for bottom-up economic model approach, the most concerned people are those at the bottom line.
Thank you. The most concerned are those at the bottom line.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Mudavadi factor in Kenya Kwanza. Mudavadi anachezwa ama hachezwi? Mtu wa Azimio, tuanzishie.
Musalia Mudavadi is he has been deputy prime minister under the Grand Coalition government, which, by the way, he did a good job.
Yeah.
But you also have to remember at one time he was Kenya's minister for finance
Yeah.
under the golden scandal, a scandal which almost collapsed.
I don't know why you're taking
our
us
economy.
back. Let's talk about
Because
the present.
no. See, when you look at a candidate, when you look at someone, you have to hold them accountable. You have to look at their career.
You know, you
The
don't have
events.
proofs. You don't have proofs
There's
to link Mudavadi
Gabriel,
directly to the golden bag scandal. You
he
don't.
was the CS of finance.
Do you have any proofs?
Like
Who's
in
the
fact,
document?
No, let me tell you something. Because,
let me tell you something.
I think you are a little bit young during that time. Some of us were present. So let me explain how this. Let me explain how this thing works. You see, it's
No,
like in
stop
this
accusing
university.
someone.
No. It's like in this university. It's like in this university. You see, when a lecturer is maybe like found, maybe he assaults a student or engages in behavior which is deemed inappropriate. When the president, because this is a public institution, or when the CS, Education, Judge Magoha gets information, do you think he's gonna come to Maseno University to talk to that lecturer?
He will not.
He will come to the VC's office because as a VC,
He's
he's
responsible.
in charge.
Yeah.
So when the Golden Bag scandal,
You know, in the interest of time,
CS
let
was
us
at
talk
the-
about
he was the-
Mudavadi in Kenya Kwanza.
Just give him.
let me finish.
Give him.
Musalia Mudavadi, who was the minister for finance at the time, he was responsible because the economy of Kenya almost collapsed. The amount of money that we paid those, I think they were Indian guys. The amount of money we paid, it was amazing. So Musalia Mudavadi, the events leading up to now 2022, I think he is a Kalonzo of sorts because he was doing very well in Oka. But when the power sharing agreement came and he realized he had to play second fiddle again, he bolted. And the only reason that he joined Kenya Kwanza is because, and these are reports from bloggers, I think, there was a financial agreement where he got, I think,
He's doing very well in Kenya Kwanza.
Same case to Kalonzo.
3 billion.
Same case to
That's the same
Kalonzo.
case
He
to
was
Kalonzo
paid
also.
3
Same
billion
case to
Kenya
Kalonzo.
Those
shillings.
are allegations.
And
Allegations.
his ANC party is losing ground in Western Kenya like nothing you've ever seen. I think 30 MCAs become because in Western Kenya there's a new force, DAP, which is under the Azimio umbrella. So Musalia Mudavadi is more of dead weight in
Okay.
Kenya Kwanza. He's a liability. If I was William Ruto, I would drop him like a hot potato right now.
I won't respond on that.
Like,
Musalia Mudavadi.
let me correct you. When Musalia Mudavadi was the Minister of Finance that year, who was the president?
Emilio Moi Kibaki, the best president we've
Ever.
ever had. I might mention
And up to date,
Uh-huh.
it is like he is ranked the best president here. Because development, economy, and many things was.
that we agree.
Yeah, we agree. So, here I come. You know, for any financial to be released from the national treasury, president has mandatory to sign that check, to sign anything. So you cannot take any money from the national treasury without president what? Conscious. So the scandal you're talking about, I think we need to revisit the two heads. So for Mudavadi, for my side, he has the ability, like he has the capacity to be running mate of William Samoei Ruto. But as per now, I cannot promise he is the best. So for his case, saying Mudavadi is losing ground in Kakamega, Bungoma, let's say that's Western Kenya. I think this is a fight between the Mulembe nation people.
And that's why I mentioned.
So endorsing,
but nobody knows if those leaders will be re-elected.
Check it. Endorsing Oparanya as the kingpin of Mulembe nation and neglecting Musalia Mudavadi. In fact, without even Musalia Mudavadi conscious, then you are telling us all Mulembe nation would be listening from.
Musalia Mudavadi was a good guy. Atwoli endorsed him as the Mulembe
Of course, even Atwoli endorsed
a couple of
Wetangula
years ago. Even Wetangula, they were so nice. But when you look at Kenya Kwanza right now, it's among them. It's an organization of everyone with a questionable character in this country.
Same case.
Let's begin with William Ruto.
Those are just allegations, no proof. Those are just allegations.
Let me substantiate.
Let's do like this, because I'll not substantiate like I'll not quote Raila. I'll not quote.
Don't quote anybody.
I'll not quote Kalonzo.
Don't mention anybody.
Let me
like I think we should use person X. We should not refer. Like we should not get
Kenya
to
Kwanza Alliance, the head of the snake. Western Hotel sits on illegally acquired land. This is an issue. Even when he was in the UK, he did an interview with BBC, and he was questioned on the side. He had nothing to say. Let's go to the former Deputy Prime Minister, the guy you're just talking about, my DVD. Musalia Mudavadi Goldenberg scandal. Let's just end it at that. Moses Wetangula, he almost got his head chopped off in the Yemeni states because of the fake gold scandal. President Uhuru Kenyatta had to bail him out. I think you remember that one.
I remember.
Rigathi Gachagua, the guy who's purported to be the next deputy president of Kenya. This guy, he has a 200 million graft case in court right now. He's linked to the death of former Nyeri Governor Gachagua. Okay? Let's go to the lady vying for Kilifi governorship. Aisha Juma.
That is Shangazi wa Taifa.
I think yesterday she made a court appearance. She's in a case involving a murder.
Murder
You
case.
want me to go on?
Just stop.
It's an association of everyone with
Daniel, those are just allegations, and that's not the position of the Gabriel TV. Those are your own allegations,
it's not
which
an
cannot
allegation.
be substantiated
His
here.
thing is in the public domain. It's in the public
So
domain.
my issue is
It's in the public
issue
domain,
is-
but it cannot be substantiated.
my issue is
Yes.
like both party, both coalition,
Yes.
corruption cut across.
It cuts
Nobody
across,
is faithful.
Show me one in
nobody's
Azimio.
No, I cannot tell you.
Why?
I cannot tell you who
Because there's no.
did this and this
We
and
should not
this.
mention names.
Corruption cut
We're not going
across.
to mention names.
Because there's no.
Corruption
Nobody's
cut across.
clean. Nobody's clean. We're not going to mention names.
So,
I'm not
for
saying
me-
Raila Amolo
for me-
Odinga is as white as
Okay.
snow.
I understand you.
Comparing him to William Ruto.
No, me, I cannot quote individual because all of them have negative. But for Mudavadi, running William Ruto, that I cannot, I'm not against
Yeah.
it. But for William Ruto,
Yes.
I think the person who, and I'll repeat this, the person who has to run behind him should be that person who understands the metrics of the coalition. Person who will stand to give solutions to the challenge. Person who, like, the youths mama mboga.
Yeah, thank you
Wananchi
very much on that.
will decide
So,
whom to run.
yeah, the question is which way Kenyan youths, who should they follow? Should they follow Raila Odinga or William Ruto? And that might be my last question as we end up the interview.
For me,
Yeah.
youths,
Mm.
I think we are grown up. We understand what is democracy. We understand what is good and what is bad.
Mhm.
So for me, as a youth, I love to decide where to be according to my own personal interest.
Yes.
So I cannot say that person is bad and this person is good. Everybody has negative side. So for me, my own personal interest, I will support this person, not this. But at the end of the day, will remain to be bright. They will remain to be rich.
Okay,
So,
unlike my brother,
so
quite.
the issue is,
Let him finish.
for youth has what we have to understand. It's our essential, our vital role. Like we need to understand our fundamental rights. We need to understand our citizenship, right? You see, like we need to take part to educate those in the society. We need to take part in developing our country. We need to take part to choose the right leaders. We should not fight. We should always because we are the people who will form the next government of this country. We are the next generation.
Thank you very much.
Unlike my brother, Koech, I will not sit on the fence. I will say it as it is. I think this election is very crucial to the youth, and I'm glad to see young people. They are vying for leadership positions. We have the Queen of the North. She's a she is, I think, vying for the Samburu woman
I can
representative
give you a
under
number
the
after the interview.
under the Azimio umbrella. We have all these celebrities coming up. Jalango is vying for the Langata constituency. We have
Even
Bahati. So
Jesse.
I think this election will be
Yes,
a
is
very
for you, dear.
he's a youth.
So
So
he's a youth.
that makes me happy because it's time we stop saying that the future belongs to the youth. It's time. The future is now.
The future
We
is
have
now.
to do it
Not
now.
it's
We
now.
start with this election moving forward. We cannot wait for grizzled old men who have been there since the 80s to keep
Yeah.
directing our
But you
path.
know,
So I think this is a very important election, and the youth under the Azimio umbrella, there is a clear plan. And let me just mention it, although it was squashed by the Supreme Court, the BBI, just a small part how it was helping the youth, especially on matters health.
yes.
Uh, the BBI was creating a grace period for the payment of health loans. As it is right now, you finish school within, I think it's only 1 year, and then the interest rates start coming up. BBI was to establish a youth commission under the constitution, which would help the youth in terms of gaining capital.
Grace period.
Yeah. So BBI was very good for the youth in that perspective, and this is a dream because BBI was initiated also by Raila Odinga. It was a very key principle in it. So the man himself had the interest of the youth even in the BBI. So even without it,
Yes, let's
he
move
can
on.
still implement these policies. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think if you're going to respond to the BBI issue.
BBI issue, banner.
Yeah.
Just leave it for comment.
Let us just leave
It's
it at
not
that.
null and void.
She
It's a
will
deferred
tell us
dream.
more about it.
As the president said in the State of the Nation, it's a deferred dream.
Thank you very much. It's a deferred dream. What will you tell the youth who are saying that they're not going to vote because the deep state is going to decide for them? They want to vote because Kenya, the government knows who will be the president in 2022. We have youths with that mentality. What are you telling them?
I think that's a very backward way of thinking.
It's a backward way of thinking?
It's pathetic, it's nonsensical, it's disgusting, it's very irresponsible. Because Kenya is a republic. This is not a monarchy. If you were in Great Britain, and you find a young person saying that, it could have been understandable because there is a clear line of succession.
Hierarchy,
It's a hierarchy. The queen dies, the prince, blah blah blah. Okay, but Kenya is a republic. There is a right to vote. It's under the constitution. This generation, we have a very big problem. The youth, they're always on Twitter. They're shouting, "Serikali, serikali." You see,
But
when
the same
time
youths are not
comes-
voting.
But when
Yeah.
the time comes to make
That's the
that
problem you're
decision
facing in
to
Kenya.
fix this government, they say mimi siwezi enda kupanga laini kupiga kura. Kupiga kura ni ujinga. You see?
Yeah.
So I think this election gives us a very good opportunity to rectify this thing. Register as voters. When the day comes in August, go out and vote.
Thank you very
Baba is
much.
the way.
Thank you very much. So, what's your take on the deep state issue?
My take on the deep state issue.
Does it
I
exist?
think deep state and system
Mm.
does not exist. We as human beings,
Yes.
the reason why we go tunakata kura.
Mm.
What is the necessity of that kura? It is us to go vote in and vote for that president we want.
Yeah, it gives us a
So
voice.
there is this analogy where they
Mhm.
say whoever who does not participate in electing their leader, they will be ruled by the fools. So any youth in this country, according to our constitution, we have right to vote. We have right to choose the right leader we want. So the issue of deep state and system does not exist.
I think deep state exists in every country.
I
There's a
think,
deep state. Even in the US, there's a
But
deep
my
state.
question is, if deep state exists, why waste money in campaign?
No, I'm saying the deep state exists.
Yeah, why waste money in
I'm not
campaign?
confirming
Yeah.
that the deep state will influence the election. Those are two unrelated
Thank
facts.
you. Thank you very much. Your last remarks as we wind up the show.
Let him start. I think I've spoken a lot.
okay, thank you.
He's in a suit and tie.
He's smart, eh? Very smart.
So my take
Mm.
in this coming general election for youths, and mostly I talk my words are basing on the youth side because I'm a youth, and I think this politics really affects youth because we are the one being misused to do this and that, which will create a harm to the next person of us. So for us as youth, we need to take part in this general election. How can we go? We should sell our aspirant using the right words and giving their agendas, manifestos. Like we should do a peacefully and harmony. Like we should embrace that. We should preach of harmony. We should preach of peace. Because this election, it now has to decide who to lead us, who to take us to this direction. We want development. We want education. We want health. Like we want to look like those developing countries. Like we should take part in electing the right leaders. We as youth. And I think the most thing is peace should prevail.
And to echo the sentiments of my friend Koyaj,
Yes.
that we should not compromise peace at any cost because elections come and go, and Kenya will still remain. At the end of the day, we are brothers, we are neighbors, and it's time we rise to the occasion that despite our political differences, that we can find a consensus as a people, that we can still live harmonious after the fact. We do not want a repeat of the 2007-2008 post-election violence.
Yeah.
It was a bloody path and a very dark moment in Kenya's history. So I think both leaders, Raila Odinga and William Ruto,
Just focus on the cameras.
they should, William Ruto and Raila Odinga, they should make a pledge to maintain peace despite the outcome of the election. Both of them, they need, and it needs to be a public address because we cannot have a repeat of the 2007-2008, and to some extent, after 2017, the general elections, there was some fracas and everything. So, because I think our country has matured, our democracy has matured in a sense, and yeah, we should maintain peace, and even the events leading to the election, the remaining months and everything, politicians should really measure what they say. They should censure what they say because inciting, it's a very dangerous thing, especially right now the political temperatures, they're so high. So yeah, I think the leaders, everyone needs to make a pledge. They need to make a public address
They need
saying
to
they will control their supporters, they will spread the message of peace, and they will accept the outcome
We
of
need-
the general
Yeah,
election.
yeah.
Yeah.
We need handshake peace.
We need a
We
handshake.
need a handshake peace.
I'm great.
Yeah, thank you very much. And the bottom line is, as we head towards the general election, let us maintain peace. To the youths, don't be used by politicians to cause mayhem. 50 shillings notes should not take you to your early grave, because the police are going to shoot you if you're going to cause mayhem. And that has been the political heavyweight as campus mates politics. I've been your host, Gabriel Mokoma.